Hey everybody, welcome to Stupid O'Clock. I'm Joe Dog. Actually, I'm shopping on eBay, or not eBay, Amazon right now because I broke both sets of my headphones and I can't hear. So I'm sort
Are
of
you a
winging it.
prime? Are you a Prime member?
Yes, I'm a Prime member, but I can't. I don't have time to wait. I mean,
Okay,
even the ones I'm buying won't get here till Tuesday.
right.
Uh, well, I'd
So
recommend these, but it'd take a while
yeah,
for it. It'd take longer than whatever you've already ordered, probably.
Oh,
yeah.
hey,
Uh,
Sarah. Hey, Donna. Hey, Carl.
And and hi, John Scarborough. Thanks for
Hey, me.
tuning in. All right, I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
He keeps doing that.
Yes, he does.
Maybe he had to go comb his hair again.
Kooky. Kooky. Lend me your comb.
Yeah. Hey, we had a couple birthdays while we're vamping here. One yesterday, the guy up over my shoulder, Burt Ward, turned 77. Holy for holies, Batman. And
Holy Geritol, Batman.
yeah, well, he's doing all right, I guess. And then today is Ringo Starr's 82nd birthday. Do you feel old now?
No, because
No, not
wasn't he
really.
like the oldest of the Beatles?
Yeah, actually, because John, who was also born on the same year, wasn't born until October 9th. So Ringo truly is the oldest.
He always looked old.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
just,
and this is coming from someone whose belief was don't trust anybody over the age of 40, and now he's twice that.
that.
Hmm.
So you don't trust yourself, huh?
Evidently not.
We don't either.
Oh,
Meaning you, that is.
Especially when it comes to posts on Uncle Carl's secret humor group.
Oh, I wasn't even going to go there.
oh,
Have
did
been
y'all see
rickrolled
that?
entirely too often.
Did y'all see that video that I posted? That this is most likely how I'm going to die.
No.
Nope.
This girl comes in sweeping. She says, "Honey, I need a new broom. It's giving me blisters." And the guy goes, "Well, you shouldn't be riding it all the time." She knocked him upside the head.
And now he's got blisters.
Or a concussion.
Yeah, he's got a concussion. He's got a concussion because it knocked his hat off his head and in the floor. Oh, well, I do not like the way my head. I'm glad I bought the new headphones because right now Dan, John, and Bill sound like a 1940s radio.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's that Dan's deep baritone voice is very trebly.
Okay, Dan, get into your Barry White, and John will have a fireside chat with John Scarborough.
Hey, John, I like that. That way we're not promoting any particular brand.
No, we're not. See, you don't see the whole name. I used to do this.
It's that ghost beer.
That's what you call bottomless and sideless and topless. Or never mind.
I knew this would happen when those guys at CERN started working with other dimensions.
Yeah, really.
Hey, what was Elon Musk talking?
You a beer.
I meant to ask you guys this, I think
What?
Saturday. I'm
Elon
trying to
pulls.
remember. Elon Musk was talking to the Pope. I never did figure out what he's selling him a electric Pope mobile or
You know, Tesla did make their big electric. I don't know how many of them they got on the road, but they got that big electric truck they were trying to push. Watch that be the new Pope mobile.
Oh, the new electric truck is in production.
yeah, Ford's coming out with them.
No, it's a tractor trailer.
Tractor trailer truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Semi.
Supposed to have a
Drop-
range of like 500 miles and self-charging.
Self-charging.
Yeah.
It's got solar panels on the trailers or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there's a lot of room for it. I mean, why waste the space?
You ever see those road trains they have in Australia?
Oh, I want to drive one of those so bad.
It's a big truck, big powerful truck, usually a Mack. If you ever saw the movie The Road Warrior with Mel Gibson, that truck was one of those. But they have this trailer system behind it. They'll tow 3 trailers with one truck. And the reason is there's so much highway between the major cities in Australia
Yeah,
that's the only way they can get all the cargo around without, just
3. There are some that can go up to 5 or 6 trailers.
depending on the weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're hauling a lightweight cargo, you can probably, but can you imagine having to turn that thing around?
40-acre field.
Australia's got plenty of room to turn in. Most of it is very sparsely populated, except on the coastlines.
But my point is, can you imagine if Tesla built them a truck and then had 3 trailers worth of solar panels on the back end of it?
Basically, they'd probably just put an additional hitch going backwards on the back one. You just detach the tractor and drive around to the other end, hook back up.
I think you've got something.
Hey, well,
Put a tractor on both ends, then you wouldn't have to worry
And-
about it.
Walter, they've been working on that, and actually it does. Every time you take your foot off the juice pedal and it hits regen, what they call regen, it turns the motor into a generator that begins recharging the batteries.
and
Yeah,
there's an
that's
older
been a thing for a
system.
while with the electric vehicles.
There's an
But-
older system that was called regenerative braking, and the brakes were electromagnetic. So when you hit the brake pedal, it automatically started charging the batteries,
Now,
or coasted. Either
one
one.
thing that
Excellent.
Walter brought up is you can't do that on a car. Like, you can't apply power to the wheels and take power off to generate electricity. I'm not sure the exact thermodynamics and stuff like that. But can you imagine?
It won't generate as much power as it takes,
Right.
Yeah.
basically.
But can you imagine if you're doing the tractor trailer thing? Okay. And of course, all your drive wheels are on the tractor. But imagine having the generators on the trailer wheels.
Yeah. Now, one guy did an experiment to where he took his Tesla and drove it to the battery was dead. I mean, the battery shut off. He called his friend to meet him at, come where he was at, bring a tow rope. Pulled it for 30 minutes at 55 miles an hour, recharged the battery to halfway, and drove it the rest of the way home.
I've always wondered why they don't have just a little Honda generator on board electric vehicles.
Boom.
Just a little 5-gallon fuel tank, a little, just small generator, just enough that can generate 110 volts, the house current.
Well,
Mhm.
they don't charge on 110; they charge on 240s.
No, a lot of the new ones do charge 110. You do both, and a lot of generators can do 220, 240. The little Honda generators we had in the military had 4 110 outlets and 2 220s, and 5-gallon fuel tank on top. It would run 12 hours on 5 gallons of gasoline. Now, if you put that on a car doing 80 miles an hour for 12 hours for 5 gallons of gas, that 900 miles on 12 gallons of gasoline.
I don't know why they don't do like diesel over electric or gas over electric, like train engines, but
Yeah.
Well, on
Um,
Independence Day, I took a little drive over on Brian K. Morris's side of the Wabash River into Indiana,
And you made it
and
back?
yeah, well, with the help of Huck Finn and Tom but anyway, I had seen a new Casey's that they built over there in Veedersburg, Indiana, or as we like to call it, Veederstucky. And the new Casey's now come with the front of the on the other side of the pumps, which is on the opposite side of where the store is a whole bunch of recharging stations. There's like 5 or 6 all lined up like soldiers out there. And I went in there and I said something to the person when I went to pay for my gas. And he said, yeah, all the new ones are doing that. And I said, well, I said, are they going to retrofit all the old Casey store? And they said, well, eventually.
mm,
But right now, I
Bucky's
guess they're not
Bucky's
pushing
has
it too far.
charging stations too.
Mhm.
yep. We got a Walmart out in Banks Crossing that has, I think, 8, maybe 10 charging stations in the middle of the parking
Mm.
lot. And they also have a gas station. So, goes to both worlds.
Well, and I know the last couple of years, Menards up at in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, there where we go, they have a whole fleet of charging stations out there. It's funny, they always put them the furthest away from where you where you're wanting to go. I guess they don't want the electric cars parked anywhere near regular gas powered cars for some reason. But I've noticed about the 4 different businesses that have charging stations in their parking lot, it's always way out yonder.
Well,
That's where
that
the
would,
power comes in.
yeah, that'd be closer to the power lines coming in, and it would be when you're tearing up the asphalt to lay the lines and everything. It would be the least inconvenience for the customers with regular cars. So
Sarah
basically,
Heiser
yeah.
asked how long to charge. Uh, 30 minutes to 4 hours, depending
Depending on the
on.
vehicle. The bigger the vehicle, the more electricity it uses to move the mass, and the longer it takes to recharge it.
And depends on what the
Yeah.
charger is set at.
Hmm.
In Chattanooga, you pay a regular parking fee. They've got them in downtown Chattanooga, and whatever someone would pay for a regular parking spot is what they would pay for that much time on the charging station.
So Sarah drives kind of a hefty vehicle. So your charging time would probably be the latter of what Joe mentioned.
What, she driving a transfer truck?
Spaceship.
Oh, well, yeah. Time to get them thermonuclear batteries fixed.
Well, yeah.
I wonder, I was reading something the other day where they figured out how to make a diamond battery that runs on nuclear waste. You hear about this?
I think I've read something about it, but there weren't any details.
But they showed
So,
one. They said you could build a AA battery out of this stuff. It would give you a volt and a half, just like a regular AA battery. But it's got like a 50 to 70-year half life. That, I mean, you buy one set of these batteries for whatever, and that's it. Which would come in really handy for the military if you're using night vision goggles. Let me tell you,
oh yeah, I bet those things eat batteries.
change them out every night, every day.
Mm.
Not that they use that much electricity; it's just a mission critical piece of equipment that you don't
Yeah,
want
really.
going down in the middle of the night.
Something hits the fan, you don't want to be using yesterday's batteries.
Walking, hey, I was a light combat engineer unit. We had to deal with minefields. Can you imagine walking through a minefield at night with night vision goggles and the batteries die?
It wouldn't take very many more steps.
Nope. That's we
Oh,
have. Oh,
I remember something that it's a random fact. The fellow that wrote the Doc Savage pulp stories back in the 40s, he's also the same fellow that invented the metal detector and the landmine detector. Same principle. His name's Lester Dent.
Lester Dent. Why does that sound like something you clean your teeth with? Lester Dent.
Mm,
Or
Don't
gargle with.
don't upset his fans. They're legion.
Yeah, I know one person who is as much of a Doc Savage fan as most people are with Star Trek or Star Wars, something to that nature.
Mm.
And I vaguely remember the movie. I've probably read maybe 2 Doc Savage books, which I did like. It just, the Man of Bronze was not high up on my list, I guess.
Well, there were originally 181, then they found another one years later, and there were actually 4 writers for the series, but Lester wrote almost all of them. I think the other guys might have wrote 8 to 10 apiece. Some of them only wrote 4, and there was, I think, in the 80s or 90s, some people that were really, really big fans got the rights to do additional stories in the universe, and they're very well done. These are the same folks that show up at the Doc Savage conventions, and I think it's called HallowCon's, and the folks over at the Philip Jose Farmer group, their Walt Newton alternative history sort of thing. A lot of those are very, very big Doc Savage fans as well, and some of those guys have contributed a few things. Just trivia. I mean, these things. I've got a whole 4-foot long shelf of the darn things in paperback, and I've got all 181 as ebooks on a disc somewhere. There were quite a few that I had never found and didn't get to read until I got that ebook compilation. And they're basically just, somebody scanned and corrected copies of the books and converted it to PDF. Very simple, very basic ebook. It's all public domain, or at the time it was. It may have been re-upped. The movie, yes.
Yeah. Dan, when you said Lester Dent, that reminded me of Arthur Dent.
Yes.
And when I cosplayed the 42nd Doctor and had a towel over my shoulder at Hulanta, and they go, "What doctor are you?" "I'm the 42nd Doctor." Sort of grinned and winked at them, and they didn't get it.
That's hard to believe.
Yeah, they're
That is,
like, "Huh?"
do you
If
know where your
anybody could,
towel is? Yes.
if anybody could pull off the 42nd Doctor, it would be me.
Evidently, you did.
And then they go, "There's only 13 that you know of."
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was pretty cool, having the towel over my shoulder. I had the Tom Baker scarf, the fez, and the glasses, and the towel. The 42nd Doctor.
All you needed
Nobody
was a
could.
little lapel pin that said "Don't panic."
Yeah, but
No.
yeah, they didn't get the humor.
Um.
Yes,
Oh.
I crossed the genres, people. You've
Hmm.
got to cross the genres.
Nothing is absolute. Yeah. A lot of the fans that you see now are unfamiliar with the classic Doctor Who.
Yeah.
All they know is from Eccleston's first story forward. Um, which
Well,
probably
that's
freaked
kind of
them out
like
when
that
Paul
about
McGann showed
anything.
up for that little snippet there for the 50th anniversary. They didn't even know the movie, so you can tell when people get together and start talking about their favorite doctors when they drop in somebody from Classic Who. You can tell they've been around for a little bit longer, or at least a little bit more adventurous than
Or they
most of
don't
the
have
new
Pluto
staff.
TV.
Well, that would be yeah.
And yeah, I've watched some of the early uh, classic Who, and I think
Hmm.
they went all out and spent all $50 on of the budget on one episode.
Oh, they'd spend the entire budget on one prop.
Didn't have
Unfortunately,
nothing for the
it was a
rest of the season.
broom. Oh, believe me, I used to call it masterpiece theater acting with a Dark Shadows budget. The sets would wobble. You didn't dare. You hope nobody dared to bump into the back of a set. You
Well,
might
I
either.
think even
Hey,
Dark Shadows had better sets.
they had better sets on Dark
Yeah.
Shadows.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
they,
Especially, well, even going back to the first pre-Barnabas Collins days, they
yeah, but
still had really good sets.
they had a series of standing sets for every location in the script. Doctor Who, you'd only have that one set for that one show. Then you'd have to tear it down or redress it for some other show. That's why a lot
Yeah.
of the outdoor scenes, um, the running gag in Classic Who is every alien planet either looks like a rock quarry or a village in northern England somewhere. And nowadays it's Cardiff.
Soundstage in Cardiff.
Mm.
Oh. Well, there is sad news in the entertainment world. Uh, have y'all heard that James Caan passed away today?
No,
Oh,
I
did
didn't.
not.
Did not.
Oh,
I
Yeah,
got rather. Go ahead.
they said, Oscar nominated actor of The Godfather, Mystery, and Elf. Elf
Of all
had an
things.
Oscar nomination.
Um,
I'm not sure. It was a fairly popular movie.
I'll take your word for it.
I
Oh,
don't even ask how old they are anymore when they pass away. Generally, my first thought is, what did they die from?
He was 82.
Well, he didn't die from 82, but
you'd be surprised how often
Actually,
that
that
happens.
might be exactly why he died.
maybe
Probably
back in the
complications from
60s.
smoking.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now, I
Well,
remember one James Caan movie. It was a made-for-TV movie that was very popular. Brian's Song.
oh yeah,
Mhm. Good movie.
It does not say why he died. It just says he died.
well
He
maybe he
woke
don't
up
want
dead this
anybody to know.
morning.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Like Francisco Franco. Oh, tough for him.
So who will be the next two? Because it always comes in threes.
Don't know. We got some horrible news for Northeast Georgia residents yesterday.
What?
Somebody put a bomb in the Georgia Guidestones and blew it up. There was enough damage to where the rest of the structure had to be totally demolished for safety
Yep.
reasons.
Oh, they had to bring it all down.
Brought it all down.
Okay, see, I just saw the picture where they blew up the one. Now, what I want to know is this thing is supposedly got security cameras from 15 different angles, sensors and everything, and they've got no clue who did it.
They got a real good picture of the car that was escaping. And it was not a cheap beater. It was an expensive car.
Yeah. And Carl says it's crazy. People have hated those stones since they got put up. Yeah, a lot of people did.
Yeah. Um,
So they tap into the security cameras and then they put in a fake loop while they do their dirty deeds and then take the loop out.
Nope. Probably didn't even know there were any cameras.
Somehow I doubt that.
People should know that there are cameras everywhere now.
This is the middle of a cow pasture. Well, on the edge of a cow pasture.
And Sarah,
but
it's called the Georgia Guidestones.
Was called the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah.
Well, it still is, but soon it's going to be somebody's
Now it's the
driveway.
Georgia Guide Gravel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And have they ever said who actually put it up, or it just appeared one day?
No. There was a company that got hired to put it up, but they never said who hired them. That's never been revealed. But one of the granite companies there in Elbert County was hired to quarry the rock and cut it as if it were 12. I don't remember where they were. 12-foot tall, 18-foot tall slabs, and carve all this.
19 feet 3 inches.
Okay.
And there were 6 slabs.
And they were used for what purpose again?
Oh, they just had a basic philosophical statement on it, and in about 6 different languages, I think.
Here's what's funny. It was designed to withstand catastrophic events.
I don't think high explosives come was considered to be a catastrophic event back when the damn thing. When was it built?
Okay. It was built. So the guy who commissioned it back in '79,
79.
and
Okay.
he was using a pseudonym of Robert C. Christian. And he approached the Ilberton Granite Finishing Company on behalf of a small group of loyal Americans to do these stones. And let me see. I'm trying to see when it actually got erected here.
March 22nd, 1980, according to Wiki.
Well, I owe Guy at work an apology. I thought they were much older than that. I thought they went back to the 60s or the 50s, but
And it was the idea of rules for rebuilding society after a nuclear event wiped out most of humanity.
well, a lot of people thought it was go ahead and wipe out humanity, and this is what you do for a good government afterwards. So you
Yeah.
know, there was a lot of controversy about the actual content, although there was nothing overtly racist or white supremacist or New World Orderish about it, but just
Well,
from
it
the
said that
context, just from the. Go ahead, Bill.
No, I was gonna let you finish. I was just going to say what John said about withstanding catastrophic events. He said, he goes on to say the man reportedly used a pseudonym, Robert C. Christian, because of reference to his Christian religion. So, and this was supposed to be competition for Stonehenge, basically, I guess.
No, Stonehenge is over in Clark County. It's just it's made out of concrete. It's there for an apartment complex.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious.
We're talking about the British Neolithic monument, Stonehenge.
That's a whole lot bigger.
Yeah.
It'll take more than a few sticks of dynamite to bring that bugger down.
Well, hey, we already saw it. We saw it come down already.
One Mini Cooper can take out Stonehenge.
That's right.
There's already video proof.
With
Chevy
Clark
Chase did it.
being driven by Clark Griswold. Yeah, Joe Dog knew where I was going with this.
Uh-huh.
And if Ryan was on here, he could probably quote it.
Oh, yep, I've been there several times. Back in the day, you just pull off the side of the highway and walk in through the gate. Had one of those open gates with the cast iron pipes crossways, so that the cow would be afraid of putting their foot in the wrong place and not want to cross it. And you just walk out there, you'd be looking at the darn thing and hear moo plop behind you, and there's a cow doing its business.
I figured out who blew up the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, it's like an election season, right?
Uh-huh.
All these people running for election. There were 10 things on the inscription, 10 words of advice for how to start a new civilization. Number 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials.
Well, we ain't got much else around here.
So I'm willing to bet a bunch of like city officials got together and blew it up because they didn't want anybody reading that.
Well, there was somebody running for not governor, but one of the other offices along that in that tier that she was just absolutely her first day in office when she would. If she had gotten elected, she was going to have the damn things torn down anyway. And
kind of sounds like other things have gotten torn down when people get into office.
Yeah, well, it's still kind of pointless. I mean, nobody was making any money off of it. There was no fees, not even a parking fee. It was just basically it was an art project somebody had set up in a field. It got vandalized 10 or 20 years ago, and somebody donated enough money to clean it back up. I mean, it was a group effort. A lot of people donated.
And hey, and that's when the cameras went in.
Yes, that's when the cameras went in. There were no cameras before then.
And like I said, there was cameras from every angle. Because I was watching some History Channel show that was talking about it. And they showed where the cameras were. And you could not mess with one of the cameras without being on the other cameras. I mean, there was not whoever put the cameras in covered the blind spots. There were no blind spots.
You pretty much have to in something like that.
Right-wing activist Mark Dice demanded that the guidestones be smashed into 1 million pieces and then the rubble used for a construction project, claiming that the guidestones are of a deep satanic origin.
Yeah, that's like the lady that I was talking about before. If she didn't get elected, so might have been one of her supporters. Could have been her personally. I don't know.
Is she running for office again?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
Probably, unless she's run out of money. I mean, that's what they usually do. They just keep running over and over again, no matter how often they lose, till nobody gives them any money anymore.
Them damn Georgia teenagers.
Yeah.
You know, they used to tip over cows for.
Yeah. I was thinking somebody on a higher state level that wanted it tore down, because they want some other monuments torn down too.
Yeah.
Well, up in Chicago, when they do it in the middle of the night when nobody knows what's going on, and whether it be tearing down statues of Christopher Columbus up there or taking out a whole airport overnight so that they can extend their beach property.
Yeah. The airport story, you know, that person got in some serious trouble over that.
Oh, yeah. And the Christopher Columbus statues are more than likely going to be slated to be going back up, because that raised the ire of all the Italians. And there is a large Italian faction up in Chicago that we won't go into any details of things that happened in the 20s, but those things still linger on, as much as Chicago doesn't want to be compared to it anymore.
And Sarah Hauser says it's all new to me. Well, I didn't know about the Georgia Guidestones until like 4 or 5 years ago, when there was a what's his name? Had that show.
Mysteries at the Museum was the show. And
Unsolved Mysteries.
No, Mysteries at the Museum.
No, it wasn't Mysteries of the Museum. It was Brad Meltzer, or he's a bald-headed guy with glasses.
Yeah, Brad Meltzer. I know who he is.
It was his next show where he just sat in the studio and told everything, and he stayed safe in the studio while everybody else went out investigating all this other stuff.
Kind of like Marlon Perkins on Wild Kingdom.
Yeah, pretty much.
While Jim is out in the field wrestling with the lion and her cubs, I'm safely back here behind the blind watching everything.
Who was it? Eddie Murphy that had that bit about the. All right, Jim, go wrestle this tiger. No, you get your ass out there and go wrestle.
Well, I think didn't
Decoded. Absolutely right, Carl. That's Brad Meltzer and Decoded.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I don't think I ever saw that.
And they actually tracked down the flag from the World Trade Center that the firefighters put up.
Hmm.
And then for the Olympics, they actually had the flag that was on top of the building. It survived all the fall to the bottom. And both of them are now at the Smithsonian.
Good place for them, where they can be
Next to
protected.
Archie Bunker's chair. Or Fonzie's jacket, leather jacket, probably.
Or Phyllis Diller's file cabinet.
Yeah. Fibber McGee's closet.
I think that's at Radio City Music Hall.
Oh, well, actually, I think it might be, seriously, it might be at the museum. It's up in Chicago. It's on, the television and radio and television Museum of History or something. Maybe Carl or Donna I can't come up with the name exactly, and I know I should. I hear our local historian, Doug Quick, talk about it all the time, and then Chuck Shaden, who actually had old time radio show back in the 70s. He used to be the host of all the shows that they used to air.
And Carl goes to the Broadcast Museum.
Yeah, thank you. Broadcast radio and television history, I think it's called, or whatever. And I would love to go through it someday too. I guess they got everything there.
Yeah. It's not a good sign.
Well, of course, when you say Broadcast Museum, me and John think of one name, right?
I don't know. Were you thinking the same name?
Starts with an L. Used to be a British TV show. The only man who could close the schools in Hamilton County before the district.
And Find Your Dog when it was
And
lost.
Find Your Dog. Yep.
And Find Your Dog.
Yeah, Luther Massengale. Yeah, I don't know if you were around when we were talking about Luther before, Bill, but Luther held the distinction in radio. Held the job for 70-something years at the same station in the same time slot. Was the only person in the world to break the news of 9/11 and Pearl Harbor on the radio.
That sounds a lot like Orion Samuelson, which Sarah Heiser will. I think Sarah actually met him. He was with WGN Radio in Chicago for well over 50 years, or well, no, longer than 50 years, 70. Now I'm going to have to look it up. Darn it. Thought I was going to get out of it by remembering it, but I don't remember. And Orion started out and ended actually doing farm reports, but he also did the news and that, probably much the same like Massengale did. And
yeah.
In 2003, after hearing of the donation of Archie Bunker's chair to the Smithsonian Institution, Diller opened her doors to the National Museum of American History. She offered them some of her most iconic costume pieces, as well as her gag file, a steel cabinet with 48 file drawers, and more than 50,000 jokes she had written on index cards during her career. In 2011, the Albert H. Small Documents Gallery at the National Museum of American History displayed Diller's file and some of the objects.
And
50,000 jokes. Each joke on its own card, 50,000 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, could you imagine how big my joke cabinet would be? It would be comparable.
Yeah, but her jokes were good. She made money with her jokes. She worked with Bob Hope.
Oh, what's his real name, Dan?
Leslie.
Leslie, yeah. Was it Leslie Hope? Was Hope his
Yeah.
real last?
First day in American school after moving over, his parents moving the whole family over from England. He was asked to introduce himself. He did it the British way. He said his name was Hope Leslie. From that day forward, kids were calling him Hopelessly ever since.
Yeah, Carl, exactly. Ouch. You know, that just
And Orion Samuelson, who's originally from Ontario, Wisconsin, which is near La Crosse, he was heard on WGN radio in Chicago for 60 years as the station's head agriculture broadcaster from 1960 to 2020. And one of his first assignments for WGN was to MC the National Barn Dance, a long-running program WGN had just acquired when WLS Radio discontinued it. And anyway, he was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in 2003. But anyway, he's 88 years old, still around, and occasionally you'll hear him with Max Armstrong, which was basically his protege and does all the ag business reports and that now locally and around here. Him and Orion and Max Armstrong used to have a weekly show on television. I think it was called This Week in Ag Business or whatever. And regardless whether he was a farmer or whatever, it wasn't so much the things that they talked about, but the way they talked about it, it compelled you to listen to it. It was just very interesting. And no, I would never wanted to be a farmer, but it's because of Orion and then continuing on with Max that I actually listen to the stupid farm report every day at noon here on one of our local stations.
You used to win.
and somebody is watching us. I don't know if it. I think it may be my father, so I got to watch what I say.
Set up.
That'll be the day.
I can't say no wordy dirds.
Oh, that's my job.
Well, Facebook user, tell us who you are, or we can make a game out of this. What's my line?
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
I could be Alan London. Joe Dog could be Betty White. And John Scarborough as Kitty Carlisle.
what's the deal with CERN on Tuesday? Well, they ramped it up to so much whatever, but come to find out the power that it was generating was less than a AA battery. It, a AA battery is like 3 joules or something like this. This was like a 5,000th of a joule.
Oh,
So,
so I guess we can stop worrying about them opening up a black hole anytime soon.
Yeah.
Definitely not an
Unless
ever-ready
they get
battery.
Yeah, I started to say, unless they get some 9 volts from that damn rabbit.
Yeah. Now the thing is, back in, I think they said it was late 2015. Somehow a weasel got in there and got zapped, and that's why it's been down so long. Is to repair the damage from the weasel getting zapped.
I think I've seen that on a Foghorn Leghorn cartoon.
And the obvious comeback line to that has got to be "Pop goes the weasel."
Yep. But things have not been right in the universe since. So what we've got to do is get it cranked back up and throw another damn weasel into it.
Wait a minute. If you run it backwards, does all the energy form back into a weasel and the weasel runs out? Maybe that's what they need to do.
Well, if one weasel broke it, 2 weasels definitely got to fix it.
And Carl, I think Carl's actually really nailed it.
Yep.
All the technology has gone to heck since Radio Shack closed.
I have never been able to rebuild a stereo cabinet with brand new speakers since. I can't afford what everybody else charges. Back in the garage band days, I built speaker cabinets with one of them had 2 100-watt speakers side by side, and my bass amp had a third 100-watt speaker, and the bass amp put out 300 watts. So I plugged those things together, and it kind of thumped loudly.
Well, I still have my mid-70s realistic weather radio with the spacebar activation and the faux wood tone and telescoping antenna.
Believe it or not, there's one of those at work, still plugged up, still getting emergency alerts from the Weather Bureau to this day.
Yeah, I think Carl, did they hold 3 crystals?
What on earth have you got there, Joe?
A light bulb.
Oh, that's one of those as seen on TV.
Fan?
Yeah, my dad got it for me. It is $7.99 at Ollie's. Or if you order it off Amazon, it's $39.95.
Yep.
Costco has a 2-pack for about $39.95, but they're instead of the big long pedals, they sit like this. So it's
the ones you see advertised on TV, the TV ads, I think they're the smaller ones too. My thing is, how long will those LEDs last?
Don't know. I've got an LED light bulb over the washer and dryer in the bathroom that's been burning for close on 17 years now, if not longer.
You never turn it off?
Never turn it off. It's been on continuously for longer than Lindsay and I have been married.
And have you had power failures or?
Yeah, lots of times, and it comes right back on. Of course, in the same batch of budget LED light bulbs that I got with that one, there was one that blinked like a Christmas tree bulb. I keep threatening to hang it out in the cedar tree at Christmas time, and decorate the tree outside since it's already going to blink. I mean, good grief.
Might as well.
Okay, I'll be back in just a minute.
All right. See, Dan leaves and nobody says anything about it. I leave and see, I look at him just run off and leave us. No, but nobody says anything about Dan taking off. I see
It's
how
not
y'all
Dan's show.
It's
It'd be like-
our show.
Hey, no offense. If you're watching the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, it's Johnny's show. Okay, it ain't Doc, it ain't Ed, it's Johnny. Okay, Johnny gets up, go to the bathroom. Everybody wants to know what the hell's going on.
Well, he had to get up every once in a while because he was doing the skits of the matinee guy or whatever. After a while, he had a door behind his desk that you would always see him come back through.
That's weird looking. All right.
Okay,
I got to get this pulled up because this is wild looking.
back to Bob Hope. Wild, man. It's just wild.
Pull that up to there. Bring that to there. And we can only do this for just a couple seconds. But I thought the thing had blowed up.
It's just a bunch of orange lights.
Yeah, those are lights for
Gas detection.
sea turtles
Oh, that makes sense.
to not attract the sea turtles.
Wonder why they can't attract sea turtles.
Because it's nesting season. And it disorients them.
Oh, no. It's hatching season, and the baby turtles come up out of it, and they see the lights, and they start heading toward the lights.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's why they tell everybody to turn their light. I was about to say, why wouldn't they want them? They want the sea turtles on the beach. That's good for the beach.
And yeah, Donna is now saying, so you're now comparing me to Johnny Carson. I take that as an honor. Because Johnny was probably one of the funniest people in television.
Yeah, but he had joke writers.
And you guys are failing miserably.
Somebody's skating on thin ice.
All three of you.
I wonder if HallowCon needs a security guard down at the end of the driveway. Oh, Lord. Well, when I'm having to substitute for you, I was always calling myself Joey Bishop, so the comparison had been made much earlier.
Yeah, but did Joey fill in for Johnny? Or did Joey fill in for Jack Parr?
Probably both. But I don't remember Jack Parr. I do remember Johnny Carson.
Well, I don't remember Jack Parr either. All I remember is one day he says, I've had enough of this stuff. I'm done. Got up and walked off in the middle of the show.
Joey had his own show, though.
Yeah, he did. It didn't last a long time.
And
but,
Jack, yeah, because Johnny came in '62 when Jack left. And then Jack came back as a guest one time during Johnny's whole, whatever 30-year reign or whatever. Yeah, 30 years I think it was.
Mm.
By the way, in the Stupid O'Clock Messenger link, I put up we'll be back after these messages that I think's fitting for this show. I still don't know how to put stuff up on the screen, so I just put it in there and let you guys.
Yeah, the
either.
Tonight Show had some classics and those little cards that would flash up just before the commercials.
They had a certain name for those too, and I'm trying to think of the name of those cards.
Well, we've got our own little situation when things go wrong.
Yeah.
And now it can run continuously.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, and Dan, I don't know if you saw, I guess you came in straight through the link. You didn't come through the front door?
I'll come in through StreamYard.
Okay. Did you see how you can now add your own music?
Haven't I been doing that all along?
No, to play in the background.
Oh, in the back. Oh, it's background music. Okay.
Yeah, you can now add your own songs into the background music.
Hey, dude, I'm just getting started again on that story that I've been waiting to finish. Now, if y'all want background music, I'm going to have to take some time off from everything else to do it. But this is the only computer I can rock music on right now. It's the only one that's fast enough for the updated program. I'd like to see the finished file from Life on Korra for the little bit that I did for Mike Jimmy. He showed me the bit without all his titles and things added in, and I really thought it was pretty neat, even though I did the music. So
now what you just played there kind of sounded like a video game I used to play back in the 80s. I'm trying to think of which one it was. By the way, Dan, in the Stupid O'Clock Messenger, I did put up one of those Tonight Show will be back, or more to come. I'm still trying to think of what they called those.
Cards?
Interstitial cards.
Yeah, but they had a certain name for it. At least for the Tonight Show ones. And it wasn't that, well, it started out that one artist was responsible for them, but then as they got popular, I guess they commissioned other artists to do other ones.
Yeah, they were, a lot of them were in the same, you could tell they were in the same style. If they
and this one
all
that I
done by the same
posted
person,
here
they were done by the
was,
same house.
yeah, this one I posted in the link there is part of a Western motif. They actually had 4 or 5 different Western ones that they did, and that was always one of my favorite ones. Mm-hmm. I have to think about that. And a little while ago, Facebook user said, "I am no one's dad." I don't know if maybe he's playing the game with us.
I know who it is. I've really got to behave now.
Oh. Facebook user, are you someone's wife? And since I'm not married, that just leaves 3 of you.
Hey, mine's in bed.
Which?
No. Facebook users are nobody's dad, but they are a mother.
Oh, that could be taken several ways.
I'm just waiting for the door to get kicked in. Maybe
Me
she's going
too.
for the rolling pin.
Yeah. Well, and judging by Joe's actions, that was actually my first guess when they said I'm no one's dad. So,
Yeah, she's probably already gone by now.
And speaking of saying I'm the only one not married when actually today is my ex-wife's birthday. And I always used to kind of poke fun of her having the same birthday as Ringo Starr, although she didn't have the same nose, thankfully.
I may have to go donate some blood. Blood Assurance is giving $20 Amazon gift cards.
Wow. Our local State Farm Insurance is giving $10 gas cards for going to get a free quote on whatever.
I'm sorry, $10 gas card? No, that ain't enough to pay for the gas to go down to the State Farm office.
I know they called me up on the phone last week, and actually I heard one other State Farm agent advertising on there giving $20 ones, and I said, well, you mean you're not giving 20? You're so much their competition, but it's, I guess, competition agent wise, even though they're working for the same company. And she says, oh no, we're only giving out $10 ones.
Hey.
There's Steph.
Finally.
All right.
Hey, you.
Yeah, she was doing some playing promoter or something like that.
Yeah, and then when I got done with that, then I had to call my folks. Then I had to eat dinner. So I'm just now getting here. Sorry.
It's all right.
I literally just have finished dinner. So
Yeah, we had a commenter in said, I'm watching you. And I thought it was my dad, and I replied back, I'm no one's dad. And I said, oh, you're a mother? And then started looking at the door.
okay.
Because I was expecting her to come in at any time.
Gotcha.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, and Saturday is the anniversary of the day we met.
You and me?
No, me and her.
Oh, okay.
I've already got it planned out what I'm going to say and everything.
How in the world do you remember that, Joe?
Oh, I remember how.
It's really
That's
how I remember is because it was my niece's birthday, and her birthday is Saturday. And
I couldn't tell you for sure the exact date, but I remember meeting Daryl, sure for certain. It was in September. It was near my birthday, but it was not on my birthday.
And Walter Flagg goes,
Hi, Donna.
All You Need Is Love was released today in 1967.
Okay.
And you remember that was the first time everybody in the world saw them singing that song all at the same time.
Yeah, that was the simulcast over the satellite network. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A big deal back in the day.
Yeah.
You okay, Steph?
Yeah, I finished up some leftover Chinese, and you'd be amazed the places that rice can get.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hour later.
Yeah.
I hate, coming home from having that and sitting there and go to scratch and a piece of rice comes out of the mustache going, didn't anybody think to tell me about this, or they were just going to let me walk around and see how long it took?
You'll notice that most of my T-shirts don't have pockets. Same reason. Yeah. Yes.
Hi, Keisha.
You get rice in your pockets?
I get annoyed when the necklines are cut too low.
And hello,
And-
Miss Keisha.
Hey, Keisha.
There we go.
And none of the guys are going to touch that one, sure for certain.
Nope.
Nope. We like
I'd
keeping
like-
our hands where they are.
I like to remain among the living.
Yeah. And Carl Witzman says he must go supervise feline bedtime. See you all later.
Bye, Carl.
Bye, Carl.
Plus, he's got to get up in the morning and run Nick Tockert's show.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. I haven't been able to watch all week, just being very, very busy. He did officially take over now, didn't he?
Yes.
Yep. Wednesday
Yesterday.
morning.
Oh, yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
after
couldn't remember it was yesterday, Monday.
After I got home from work, I sat and watched it. Made sure.
How'd he do?
They did really, really well.
There.
Who took over what now?
Brian
Tucker
has
took over
stepped
Brian's
down
old
from
show.
doing Nevermind the Furthermore, and Nick has been passed the torch.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He's
That leaves,
juggling
that
too
leaves
many
Brian
shows
with
again.
openings to do other stuff that he's been wanting to do.
Gotcha.
And he's going to bring back Clever Title Pending sometime in the near future, as well as do some more writing. And I forget the entire list, but, getting his toenails polished was in there somewhere.
Yeah, doing all those shows is great, but if it keeps you from doing your
Yeah.
writing, there's Houston, we have a problem. But
Hey.
I know Nick has the gift for gab, so I was thinking he would be just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I forgot to do something. I didn't put the light up on the laptop.
It's all right.
Oh,
I'll get it next time.
We'll
I was
all
just glad
turn
I
our
got in
lights
here.
out too. There you go.
Yeah, well, Brian, kicked Nevermind the Furthermore from, I think it was like once or twice a week to every day for like 3 hours at a time, once everything started locking down.
Yep.
And now the world is going back to normal. A lot of these streaming shows have nobody tuned in.
Well, I think a lot of people are still home, but they're working from home, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
some are, some
And-
aren't. Yeah. There's some places that are requiring people that have been working from home to come back so that they can be supervised. And that's the only reason they're requiring them to come back.
I
is
was
to make
talking-
sure
Well,
that
they
the
have-
supervisors have something
they
to
have-
do.
They have to justify paying for the buildings also.
Well, yeah, and you gotta do something. Well, I know a friend of mine that works for the Department of Human Services. Of course, during the COVID mania, they locked down and everything was over the telephone. And then if you had anything to drop off there, you either mailed it or they had a drop-off box on the outside. And then it got to be where they started having a couple people back into the building along with a security guard. But they would meet you at the front door for just dropping stuff off or handing paperwork off to you. And she said, I asked her, I said, well, when are you going to go back to doing everything, in the building and that? And she said, we may not. She said, I said, well, will the building shut down altogether? And she said, no. She said, that's still a base of operations. But she said that a lot of them are going to continue to do it remotely, not because of fear of contracting any diseases or anything like that, but just that some found, hey, this actually works. And I can see some pluses in doing it that way, but then of course I can also see some minuses as well, and that. So I think they have a lot to rethink either way. And
Mm-hmm.
Well, I heard somebody talking about that their company's still allowing them to work from home, but twice a month they have to come into the office and work. But it's not everybody comes into the office at one time. It's so many.
Rotated.
It rotates around, and the desk you go to this 2 weeks will not be the same desk you go to the next 2 weeks. You just walk in and grab the first desk.
Okay.
That way does not lie efficiency.
no,
I wouldn't like that at all myself. No. I'm having to share my lab with all the rest of the QC people right now because they're doing all kinds of redecorating in the QC lab, and I've got a couple of pieces of vital equipment in there that all five of us use, but takes up most of my little bitty lab. I mean, basically, it's a walk-in closet, but now it's got a couple of the shelves have been taken down and made into a table for one of the machines. And these things are about half the size of a refrigerator each. So they're not
In
small.
height or width?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yep. They're about 3 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. So, and about the same depth, actually. Basically,
EQ.
it's something to test thermal resistance. So you put a sample of the stuff in there, and it has a different temperature at the bottom and a different temperature at the top, and it times how long it takes to equalize as it goes through the insulation. And it's a very complex piece of equipment. There's each machine has its own little refrigerator, which has to stay outside the room because they get hot.
It's
They
a
get
variety of
hot.
the calorimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yep. And
Steph
takes
has
about
messed with those.
takes about 2 hours to run a complete test, no matter what you put in it.
Yeah.
And the thing I hate worse, they had to swipe my Ethernet cable in order to run the computer that controls those. So I've got no internet, no connection to the company LAN, no connection to all the files that I have on there for all the spreadsheets that I use. I have to go to another computer and pull those up and then put everything on a thumb drive and walk to another computer that also has no connection and do all the tests and then take the thumb drive and put it in the second computer again and put everything back on the company network so that my engineers can see my test results. And
Gotta
that's the
love
only
sneakernet.
computer. Yeah, and that's the only computer that has a printer so that another engineer, which I can't get access to any other way but by giving her paper, can see the results of the tests that I have to do for her. Isn't
She
modern
does. You
technology
can't email her. You can't email her.
Nope. The computer that has the connection to the company LAN does not have an email access. It's not allowed to have email. So
Okay.
my supervisors know where I put my test results, and every printout that I do for them has a link to the file that they need to look at. But for her, I have to print it out, and she has to take it to her desk and type it in whatever spreadsheet she uses. I can't even type it in for her.
Is that a security thing or?
She is a not a temp. She's a trainee. What do you call it?
Co-op?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, she's not only going to college for this, but this is part of her college working at the plant.
Oh, internship.
Intern. Yeah. Well, she probably won't be hired on to work here. She'll probably be hired on to work in a much more important area of the industry.
John, you look like somebody clobbered you.
Really?
Or shot your best friend or something.
No,
I'm reading some news stories.
Oh,
That's
okay.
always depressing.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
enough
that would
to get
explain
depressed
it.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biden's going to Saudi Arabia next week, and I hope they don't let him back. Check his passport.
Oh, that's not good.
What was that joke from the second Men in Black movie? Do you have anything to declare? Yeah, 2 heads of cabbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that, I will refrain from any more.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to have to buy a couple more of your books.
Hmm?
One of these days I'm gonna have to buy
It was a pop culture reference, Stephanie.
Yeah, well,
They're
I
well
hope
worth
they
the
never
money,
ask me
John.
if I have anything to declare. Our government's run by a bunch of idiots.
yeah.
And I don't know if y'all saw where I posted it up as a memory. You know, people are saying that the government needs to work together as one team, and I just realized they are one team. One's offense and one's defense.
Yeah.
And the problem is, just depending on your belief, which side's which.
Yeah.
They're all
And
working. They're all
And
working.
half the time, they don't know which end of the field is which anyway.
Exactly.
And they're always moving the goalposts.
That reminds me of that Schoolhouse Rock song called Interjections about the guy throwing the football the wrong way. Oh, he threw the football the wrong way. Hooray, I'm for the other team.
Well, I have to declare that Hooray for Our Side was not coined by somebody who witnessed Lady Godiva's ride. Tough for him.
Well, it's a tough room, but we don't know what you're talking about.
Crickets. I hear crickets.
Oh.
There's a sound effect you need, Joe.
Yeah.
That's the best I could do. I'm sorry.
Oh, wasn't bad. Y'all excuse me. One of the things that Chinese food, I love Chinese food, but one of the things it does is make everything green. So I'm hacking and coughing.
Okay, who's going to do Kermit? Come on, hurry up.
It's not easy being green. I even got a grown out of John on that one.
Tough for him.
Oh, Stephanie, I was telling them earlier, did they see the video that I posted of This Is How I'm Going to Die?
No, I haven't
This
seen
guy, he's sitting there, playing with his phone. His wife walks up and says, "Honey, I need a new broom. This one's giving me blisters." And he says, "Well, you don't have to ride it all the time." She warps him in the back of the head, knocks his hat off his head, and knocks him clean out of the chair.
Well, Donna's already done that with a pie. I mean,
Yeah.
Police responded to a call about a domestic disturbance. A woman had shot her husband, and he's like 90, she's like 88, and apparently
I better stop because I'm going to spew in a minute.
Mhm.
I just had to know it.
Officer gets there, calls back to the police chief, says found out what the problem was. She had just mopped the floor, and he walked across it, so she pulls out a gun and shot him. And he goes, "Have you arrested her?" He goes, "No, the floor's still wet."
I actually told that one to one of the janitors at work last week. He was
glad I
mopping the
waited.
floor at the time. Yes.
I would have spewed hard lemonade all over my screen. What?
What? Oh, nobody recognizes that name, do they?
No.
Andy, one of our rules is we have to know you, or you have to be a regular commenter to join into the podcast. Just follow us. Subscribe to the channel and follow us, and comment
Talk to us.
regularly. And in a few weeks, we'll probably let you join in.
Yep.
Welcome from Denmark. And that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, he's from Denmark. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, you've subscribed so you're more of a lurker. Okay. Yeah, comment in so we can get a feel for who you are, and then we'll start sending you a link. When we first started the show, we were letting anybody on,
And that turned out to be a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. So
we invented the catapult.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stephanie.
And those cats were really pissed off afterwards too.
That's okay. Let's see.
Real.
That's what I was thinking.
Bump.
And now I'm thinking about that Steve Martin bit about cat juggling, which it started off as a skit from the Wild and Crazy Guy album, but then he actually used it in the movie The Jerk.
Yeah. I agree. We need to be more open to new people, but we would like for you to comment, interact with more shows, and then,
And thank you that you enjoy it.
Yeah.
We enjoy it too. We enjoy doing it. We just sitting around shooting the breeze and occasionally coming up with weird stuff.
Yeah.
For the record, Bill and Steph are new people.
True.
Yeah.
Relatively speaking.
And next week, Steph, I've got to send an email to someone you know.
Okay.
Because having him on the show
would be cool.
Might just bring our abilities up.
It might do it.
Hey, it would raise the IQ of this show by at least 100 points.
I could do that just by not showing up.
Yep.
I'm trying to think where's Mike Jimmy from again?
Holland.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Netherlands.
So same neighborhood. I mean,
that's the reason why I brought it up.
Oh, yeah.
Walter says he's been smoke-free for 6 years now. Hardest thing he's ever done. I've actually heard people tell me, they've been quit smoking for 20 years. And when they wear a shirt with a pocket, when things get a little crazy or hectic, they'll reach up into their pocket and go, I've not smoked in 20 years and I just reached for a cigarette.
Mm-hmm.
And a mutual friend of mine in Waltz, Jim Stewart, is also smoke-free. And I want to say it's been 12 or 15 years since he smoked last. And Jim would have been one of the last people I ever would have thought that would have quit smoking cigarettes. I rarely ever saw him without one.
And yeah, Walter, they say it is a hand habit.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to have something to do with
Oh.
your hands.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another reason, John, for not wearing pockets in your shirts.
This is true. Although pockets are not necessary, depending on what you're doing. I will light up a cigarette while I'm writing, and then get annoyed that I've got to blow ashes off the keyboard because I'm not using the cigarette for anything but to keep my fingers separated. It just burns down to a nub, and I throw it away. I didn't even smoke it. It just was sitting there while I'm typing.
Well, next time, Dan, just put it between your fingers and don't light it.
Or
That's
how
actually an
about an
excellent idea.
incense stick? You could light it. And,
Well, I actually used a vape for a while, but
yeah,
they
very
made
dangerous.
they made me cough more than the left-handed cigarettes back in college.
That'll get you thrown in prison in Russia. Like that one
Basketball player.
The basketball player, yeah. I can't remember what her name is now, and I hear it almost every day on the news.
Yeah, you said something that went right out of my head.
Yeah.
She was in the Olympics. The
Brittany
last Summer
something.
Olympics.
Wasn't Brittany something?
I don't know. It's been decades, so
Stephanie, I just developed my pen name.
What?
Joe something.
Yeah. Just something.
I've already told
Brittany Griner.
What?
Reiner, yeah.
Brittany Griner.
Chris
Yeah,
got
Brittany
it.
Griner, yeah. Stephanie, I've already told you the name of my first book, haven't I?
If you haven't, I'm not recalling it.
The Addendum, Volume 2.
Okay.
Positive Thinking.
Then if you go back and write Volume 1, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm looking for. I'm going to be compiling 2 anthologies of my own here in the next year or two. One of them is going to be all of my short stories, so I can actually put them in print.
yeah.
And the other is going to be all of my popular science in one cover. And I'm looking for titles. So if y'all got ideas for titles,
They've got to come up with a better name than short stories because that's offensive to me.
okay.
Vertically challenged stories.
Length challenged stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, length challenge. Because I've been called short all my life, and I'm beginning to become offended with that. Length challenged. Length challenged.
How do you spell
story.
that?
I'm glad I already swallowed.
Length
Dan,
challenge
I can't
stories.
believe you actually had to ask that question because not Dan, Bill. Bill, I can't believe you had to ask that question because I know you're a Bloom County fan, so you've seen it, spelled out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I just wanted Joe to spell it. That's all.
Bloom County and Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh,
Yeah.
y'all heard me telling y'all about the game that I'm going to be putting into the program book for HallowCon,
Yeah.
the Joe Dog Bingo.
Oh yeah.
Well, here are the goals that people have to get in. Number one, searching for Joe Dog searching for his cane.
I can arrange that one.
No, see that's in the rules. There can't be any manipulation to allow that to happen. I do a damn good job by
Nope.
myself. I don't need any help.
See, he's right there.
I would have got a bingo at LibertyCon alone.
Yeah. Taking a registration payment in an odd location, such as, yeah, Stephanie, you were there when I fell in the floor trying to ring up the card,
Yep.
laid in the floor and swiped the
Completed the
card.
transaction.
Completed the transaction. Asleep in a function space.
Oh, that happens all the time.
That
Yeah.
is a
So now,
convention. That's pretty much a description of a convention.
Coming out of the restroom.
Okay.
Do you really want to be standing there?
I just
Yes,
thought of
I'd rather be standing
three.
outside watching you come out than me standing inside watching you leave.
Yeah. And then the next one is hiding from the staff.
Okay. I've seen you do that too.
Trying to pronounce something and can't.
Okay.
I've already done that twice tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to be the free space.
Yeah. Saying, let's step over here a few feet to talk.
Ooh.
To get out of the flow.
Did checking on Grillzilla make the list?
No. And then number 8 is trying to remember what he was doing.
That's pretty much Joe all the time,
Yeah,
isn't it?
that's like that is the free space.
It's walking out of the room just wipes your mind clean. It's like stepping through a portal.
Did you just
It's-
flashy thing, Joe Dog?
Do what?
Uh-huh.
Did you just flashy thing, Joe Dog?
Oh.
Somebody got hit with the brain bleach.
Hey, the
It's right here,
silence,
guys.
the silence follows me around constantly.
How would
Stephanie
we
got it.
know?
Stephanie got it. Dan got it. Hey, Ryan, how are you doing, sir?
Joe, I still think you ought to get yourself a Sharpie and start just marking hashtags on your arms at the conventions at random times. There's not going to be that many people that understand what it is you're trying to pull.
But the thing is, for the card to be legal, I'm going to have to initial and write the time and date on it, on each goal.
You could have a stamp that you used
No,
that only you've got one of.
yeah, it would be a good idea.
You could get one of our artists to custom make you a stamp.
Of course, I know what the stamp will be.
That's too easy.
Oh, holy crap! Has anybody
Yeah, I
looked
know.
how long we've been live?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have to have anybody come up with that stamp. That's all over the web.
Do what?
That
You're
stamp is
you're
available all over.
Yep.
Your Flying Fickle Finger of Fate award stamp is everywhere.
Chris just nailed it.
Ouch, ouch.
okay.
I'm still
Well,
I'm
a
still trying to
stamp will
figure out
fit
how
in
I
the pocket.
No. Make the stamp part of the cane.
oh,
Then he'll lose them both.
Yeah.
Then you can stamp your own card. Okay.
Of course,
I wonder how he keeps up with an ink pen most of the time
put
myself.
put the stamp and the cane on a HallowCon lanyard.
Oh, I've had people threaten to make me a holster for the cane. You know,
Kind of like Daredevil.
That can be done.
AirTag. We need to get an Apple AirTag for his cane.
Mhm.
well, I'm still trying to figure out how last year my cane ended up in the room and I never went there.
Did somebody take it there for you? Maybe.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
blaming. I'm
So-
blaming his better half.
I can logic it out, but I had nothing to do with it. No. I know exactly how it got in the room if you never went back to the room and you're married to her, so
Well, she swears up and down she didn't.
Mhm.
I mean, we actually had a nice argument about it. But it wound up in the room and I didn't take it there.
well, I don't even know where your room was, so leaves me out.
Well, Dan, put it to you this way. I am less than 30 seconds from function space to my room. If somebody's got to, probably 15 if they're running.
That don't narrow it down much. I was about that distance from Grillzilla from the door of my room, so and I like it. I requested the same room. Ah,
I get the same room every year because it works for me. It's a ground floor room, so I don't have to climb stairs. So
There is stairs, but you don't have to hit them if you don't want to.
mm-hmm.
Just, oh,
And the only time I wound up using the stairs on purpose was when it was raining, and I didn't want to just walk through the rain, even though I had the raincoat.
I remember
I
that
went ahead and walked around.
that one year that it just absolutely poured down. And one of the split level stairs, as it were, the outside stairs from my room down to the front door just turned into a waterfall. I mean, it poured down rain.
oh yes. I remember that. That was the first year we went back to Dalton.
Yeah. It was a great convention, but it poured outside. I was real glad to just be able to just sit inside and enjoy being with people and not have to get out in the mist.
And the roof not leaking.
Also true.
Yeah, Dan, there's nothing like having your author guest of honor have the roof leak right over his table.
Ooh,
I remember that story. I was not there. Well, wait a minute. Was I there?
No, you weren't
That was
there.
that was the year before, wasn't it?
No, that was in East Ridge.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
mean, it
Yeah, I remember
soaked
hearing the story.
it soaked his books.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I better go and do the necessary here. We got to fire up Last Man Standing here in
Oh my.
Get the generator cranked up.
13 minutes.
13 minutes. Yes, indeed.
And counting.
I
Wake up
shall
the
return.
hamsters.
You have been warned.
Wake up the hamsters. No. Oh, and I now
Gerbils.
I used to love watching the chipmunks play in my yard.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to die now.
Oh. What happened?
Working on my truck, I ended up having to put a battery and a starter in my truck. The truck wouldn't crank. It would spin, but if I put my foot on the gas, it'd run. As soon as I took my foot off the gas, it'd die. I'm going, okay, that sounds like it's not getting any air. So I go open up the air filter, and acorns and dirt.
Twigs and everything. Yeah.
Yes, fall out of it, and they stopped up the air filter, so I had to put a $16 air filter on it. I get a truck that doesn't have a normal air filter. A $4 or $5 air. No, $16 is the cheap filter.
It's a commercial truck, Joe.
Yeah. So yeah, the little bastards have got to die.
That or you need to booby trap your air filter. So only the ones doing it have to
Hey,
die.
Joe, get you a couple live traps. Capture the chipmunks. And take them to somebody's house you don't like.
Hire Donald Duck.
What's your
I hear
address
he's
again,
good at
John?
keeping
I've already got chipmunks. Take them to somebody else, though. Got chipmunks, rabbits, rats, cats, dogs, birds, ocelots, orangutan.
Oh,
Well, my dad was telling me earlier that he's got a groundhog trying to set up shop under their deck.
Oh, voles. That's our new one. We got voles in the front yard. At least I think they're voles. Might be the chipmunks, but
Are they from Tennessee?
Who, mom and dad? Yeah.
No, his
no.
voles.
Oh,
The voles.
no, that's
I
balls.
actually got that reference.
That's balls, not voles.
he's from up north. He's one of them Yankees. He can't talk right.
All right.
Transplant, okay, come on. Even though I've lived here longer than my hometown, so.
And I overheard John's description of his chipmunk problem, and I'm going, don't you have a good recipe for dumplings? I mean, I realize it takes a mess of them to fill a plate, but
Great big
They're-
gobs
they're
of
the-
greasy,
they're the-
grimy gopher guts.
Mutilated
monkey's
monkey.
feet, chopped up baby parakeet, blood and guts all over the
yeah,
street.
well, they're the same size as quail.
I was a soldier,
mean,
so I always
seriously.
have the MRE spoon handy.
Yeah.
I don't think the hard stuff's going to come down for a while yet.
The
Cinderella story.
The varmint
It's in the hole. It's in the hole. Yeah, where's Ryan when you need him?
Really?
Of course,
He
then
was
we
just here.
then we can go into the Tennessee Ernie Ford stories, Rendersella and Beeping
Oh,
Slutie.
that wasn't Tennessee area forward. That was
Was it not?
That was the fellow from Hee Haw,
Archie Campbell.
Archie Campbell. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got good news and I got bad news.
Oh. Hey, John,
Yes.
hit it.
It's
Me,
that
yeah.
time.
Hang on, I'm gonna find
Hello, Ace.
I was down looking at the music when you talked about it earlier. Somebody turned on loop.
I wonder which yellow-shirted bugger that was.
Loop, I am your father.
Oh.
That would have been a never-ending story.
Tell you.
Hey, yeah, now we're about to end the show. We're coming out with the one-liners.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, we all woke up now.
well, they said Wednesday Adams found Luke
And-
Skywalker's hand and named it Thing.
Yep. And speaking of waking up, hi, Mike Jimmy.
Oh.
And speaking of Mike Jimmy, now Mike Jimmy shows up.
Oh,
Yeah, really.
it's too late. We done talked about him. He
Mhm.
should have been here, 30 minutes ago.
Yep.
Hey.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
one
but-
of your neighbors came on, Mike Jimmy.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
I forgot his name already.
Well, we learned. I hated to tell the guy no, but
We've been burnt before.
we've been burnt before.
Yep. And from the quality of the typos, I was kind of afraid he was putting us on that English was not his first language.
Oh, that's
For
what I
sure.
want. I definitely want rodentblaster.com.
Hmm?
And I'm going to tell you, instead of using propane, acetylene is more effective.
Yeah, but it's hell carrying one of them tanks strapped to your back.
And you've already got propane.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to waste my propane on them damn chipmunks. I
Go out
want
and look at that
acetylene.
Go out and look at that filter again and tell me that again.
I don't want to waste my propane on them chipmunks.
Go over to Joe Dog's house and you hear the music. Da 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 dun dun dun. Da 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 dun dun dun.
Yeah.
1812 Overture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I will tell you, the big round party balloon inside a milk gallon jug filled with acetylene, a dynamite fuse, and a cinder block. Whole new way of going fishing.
Hook, line,
Okay.
and sinker.
Come on around, buddy.
That boat will come up 2 or 3 feet out of the water if you do it just right.
So will the fish. Oh, good grief.
Guess who?
Pink, pink.
Elron.
Hey, Joe, have you ever watched any
All
of the
you're doing is
videos?
screaming in Stephanie's ears.
Stephanie, if you get another cat, you got to name him Hubbard. And then when you're hollering at them both,
Well, this one was actually named for the character in The Lord of the Rings. His
I
full
know.
name is Elrond Half Siamese.
yeah.
But yeah, that would be funny. Come on, baby. No,
Exactly,
you don't-
Ace. We ain't using hooks today.
Oh.
Yeah, you can tell Ace is from out west where they try to speak proper. Oh, and one thing I also learned about that, you got to make sure not to make the string too long, because sometimes the dang thing's still floating on top of the water. Oh.
Gotta learn how to surf somehow.
Surfing USA.
Hang 10 or 9 as the case may be.
Cowabunga, dude.
No, in that situation, sometimes, Dan, it's hang 6.
Or in Mick Jagger's case, hang fire.
Oh.
Believe me, that's one thing you don't want to happen in the South.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it up. Dan, Last Man Standing's coming up
Yep,
on your channels in just about 2.5 minutes.
that's right.
Stephanie, thank you for coming. And letting Elron steal the show. Thank you, Bill, and thank you, John. It is that time for me to ask everybody or tell everybody. It's time to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night,
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Vaya con Dios.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.